On today's On Location, we're not on location at all. We're actually back in the In-Depth Outdoor Studio here with good buddy PJ Vick. And let me tell you why we didn't film this after we got off the water. So last Saturday, PJ and I were out on the Mississippi River right about sundown, and we got word that the ice went off Green Bay. Some of it, not all of it, just a piece of it. So fishing on the Mississippi River was kind of not great. So we did what any normal person would do. We called the camera guy, Jake Holst, told him to meet us at the studio at 1:30 in the morning.
Yep.
And by 2 a.m., that'd be Sunday morning, we were headed to Green Bay. Drove all through the night, got to Green Bay a little after sunrise. Met Brett Walzer because ice, open water came so suddenly. My boat's not even ready yet. We hopped in the boat with him and went out on Green Bay and got after some awesome fish.
Yeah.
Now, I've never fished with Brett Walzer before. Awesome fisherman. You know him pretty well.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Good tournament fisherman. I've fished with him quite a few times now. Just one of those guys that has a kind heart and is very talented. Very talented angler.
I love fishing with the guy. Yeah. He fit right in with us two knuckleheads in an instant. And so here's the program. We were super excited to get out there on open water. 6 days prior to the filming of this week's show, we were on ice. And we were chomping at the bit to get back as soon as possible because of the numbers of fish that were already up shallow starting to stage for the spawn. So fast forward 6 days, ice is kind of gone.
It's gone. And the fish were there waiting like we had talked about in our past episode. You know, they stage under the ice in these locations, and you know, as soon as you can get the boat out there, it's go time. It's ready.
So we arrive on Green Bay. There is not one other boat visible anywhere near us on the horizon, so getting there right away paid off. When we say the ice is off Green Bay, there's still ice north of where we fished out around Chambers Island. So depending on wind direction, there is still consideration to be given to the ice pack. You get a hard north blow, all that ice up around Chambers can come south in a hurry.
Yeah, and we watch MODIS imagery, take a look at where that ice is, watch the wind direction, and that'll pretty much tell you whether or not you're safe to fish any particular location that was open the day before.
Well, just to kind of put a finer point on that, if you're going to fish the west shore and you get an east wind, keep your eyes peeled for that ice pack because it can come and ruin your day. Last year about this time, there was a whole bunch of boaters out of Oconto that got caught between an ice sheet and the boat ramps off the water.
Yes.
And that's a problem.
Yeah.
So enough about that. Let's talk about the fishing. Obviously, the big draw for us is casting the rip and wraps, or just casting in general. Yeah. And then, of course, trolling is always available as well. And we did both. So we started off the morning and ended the day throwing rip and wraps, number 6, number 7 rip and wraps. So I know you were using some custom colors. So was Brett.
Yeah.
From a custom paint shop.
Yes. Team Ultimatum Customs is the name of the custom painted bait business. And I was using the Purple Passion, which was a really cool color.
I want some.
Yeah, very nice. I could see that working well all over the bay. And I believe Brett was using a color called Mardi Gras. And we had some really awesome patterns from Team Ultimatum in the box that we fired through.
I mean, the rip and wraps are such an incredible pre-spawn, post-spawn walleye bait. The selection of colors from Rapala is getting larger, but there's always those custom patterns for those, specific bodies of water where these custom paint shops are just doing a phenomenal job for anglers. Yeah. They're really giving them the very specific tool you need to just rock it out there on the open water. So we were really targeting a very familiar pattern. If you've seen our shows, a Green Bay, first shoreline break, and then it's all electronics, right? You're using your side imaging, and let me tell you, the shallows right now are just piled up with fish. We got some just super cool screenshots and video of just seeing the masses of walleyes that you would find, but they're not everywhere, right? So one of the things we did after the morning bite kind of slowed down, we got on the troll. We just were looking for warmer water.
Yes.
And then groups of fish in that warmer water. We'll talk more about the warmer water here in a second. We're trolling number 5 smash sheds.
Yeah.
And the purple UV color was killer. Like, you can't keep it in the water.
It was really easy to tell. I mean, as always, we set up we ran 7 boards this time, one more than we normally run, but we set up with all different colors, natural shiny patterns, bright patterns, and everywhere in between, and let the fish tell us
They spoke
what
loudly.
they want. And it was instantly, purple UV.
So what we did with that trolling pattern or pass, we made 2. Made a long trolling pass, found a couple areas that were really good, made 1 more trolling pass to verify, and then got off that. We were trolling at 1.3, 1.4 miles an hour. We were setting the baits back, and this is with 10-pound mono, between 30 feet back on the inside, towards shore, on the outside of the boat, towards the deeper water out Main Lake. We went as far as 45 feet.
Yeah.
And every depth on both sides of the boat caught
Yeah,
fish.
they all worked. There was no real specific let out of line that was better than other. Just get near the bottom and you're going to win.
I'll catch fish if trolling's the deal, but you want to see me get antsy? Let's talk about all the big schools of fish we're seeing in the same place as we troll by. I start to talk about, hey guys, wouldn't it be cool if we could go back and try that spot with some ripping wraps?
Yeah.
How about now?
Yeah,
How about we reel them all up and go try that? So they eventually relented. We went back and were able to get upwind of just an awesome school of fish, and that's what we did until the sunset. I was using a purple Bengal tiger, I believe, a custom color.
Yep.
Phenomenal bait for me. Ended up putting an 11-pound, 2-ounce walleye in the boat. Just fishing, thin diameter braid on the Okuma SX rods. I like a medium heavy. You lean more towards a medium.
Yeah.
You just want a rod with some good backbone. No mushy rods. That way you can get minimum rod movement and a lot of reaction out of the bait. You don't want that slop in the rod tip. And we basically fished until we ran out of sun. Yeah,
and an important note to make on how we work the ripping wraps this time around. The water's cold. Ice just came off. So, there's a lot of different cadences when it comes to working ripping wraps. Short little snaps, keeping it close to the bottom. Longer fast snaps when fish are really aggressive typically. This one was a really slow, long sweep, keeping your stick high and letting that bait swing, just barely working that bait, and that was the trigger for us.
Absolutely. So our best depths were 7, 8, 9 feet. It's easy to find those groups of fish with the side imaging. One of the just major points, water temperature. So much of the year that water temperature really doesn't come into play as much as it does in the spring. We started out in the morning, we were in 41, 42 degree water. The wind switched a little bit, blew that water down the shoreline. Our bite just went poof.
Yeah.
The fish were still there.
They were.
But they weren't digging the reduction in water temperature. So we went and chased with that trolling pattern, that trolling pass, that warmer water, refound a hot school of fish, and it makes all the difference in the world. Keep that in mind. You get over to Green Bay now, anytime in the next 2-3 weeks, that water temperature is going to be as important as anything, because as it comes out of all the little rivers that feed Green Bay, that wind direction switches and it moves that warmer, dirtier water around. It's really not about, I'm going to sit right in front of the river mouth here. If you've got a crosswind blowing north to south, the warm water went that way.
Yeah.
You have to follow it. Look for those temperature differences. It'll be 3, 4, 5 degrees, all the difference in the world. So between chasing the water temperature, using your electronics, and just being ready to switch from cast to troll as the conditions dictate, this is a recipe for success to get over on Green Bay, one of my favorite fisheries, and just having a phenomenal time knocking the rust off after a long winter.
Yeah, it turned out at the end of the day, it was a phenomenal day. We had big fish, we had medium fish, we had small fish, everything.
Red fish, blue fish.
Right.
All right, thanks for watching. This show will air this coming weekend on Sunday, Fox Sports North, 8 a.m. It feels awesome to be turning the corner from that transition from ice fishing to open water, and one of our favorite fisheries, Green Bay, is green light. Ready to go.
In-depth outdoors on location, presented by Reed's Family Outdoor Outfitters. Reed's offers the best service, best price, best advice on all your favorite ice fishing gear. Guaranteed. Find them online at reedsports.com.